Hi everyone, Emma here. I am so excited to show you this beautiful bracelet that I made for my sister with these gorgeous Swarovski 4mm bicones. It's a bit hard to see them in this. There, you can see them that way. So this turned out amazing. I'm going to show you how to attach a clasp. So, this design was so new to me that I didn't even have any ideas on what type of clasp to put on it. And initially I did this one here, and I kind of felt, because of its flat nature of the herringbone, that I wanted to add a magnetic clasp. So I went ahead and did that by adding a twin duo in there. You can put whatever you want in there. You can do your herringbone in the middle stitch and do it for several, maybe 2 rows, and then glue that in. Or the other thing that I like to do, now I have access to this, is I add a little piece of leather in there, and what I do is I stitch my threads into, like, I weave it through my beading and through the leather, and then I glue the leather piece inside the clasp, and it will not come out. So this, you know what, I was thinking I'm going to take this apart and redo it, but you know what, sometimes it's nice to leave things the way they are as a reminder. Okay, this is where I started. So I mean, I love this color design. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I did get some really good suggestions on what type of clasp to put on these bracelets, and you will not believe, I have made like 5 more of these different colors with the crystals. So I'll be doing kind of a series on putting different clasps on. So this one here is this fold over style clasp. So this opens up and comes off the one side, and that's what it looks like on. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So actually, this size of the clasp that has these cubic zirconia crystals really fits nicely for this width of a bracelet. So I get these on AliExpress, in case you're wondering. Just put in fancy clasp or cubic zirconia or cubic zircon. Um, these, all kinds of these will come up. I am sad to say though that the price has gone up considerably on these clasps. That I used to get them. This one here is a little more intricate than most, so I would get it between $2, maybe slightly less than $2 if they were on sale, but they're probably at least $2.50 now. But keep an eye out right now. They do have sales. January to February, March, that kind of time. People are kind of not spending money, so they tend to have more sales. So they often will have 50% off sales. Now I have to say, with the 50% off sales, the prices are inflated. So you may end up getting 25% off of the regular price. Just be aware, they play those tricks. It's not nice, and usually I tend to avoid, places that do that kind of tricks. But you know what? This is the only place I've found these that work, at a good price. So there it is. So you can see I'm just showing you the slots, and it has the little bars in between. Now I did find this one was the bars. There's one down at the middle, which is great because then I can bring my thread through the herringbone a couple of times that way. But I did find when I was putting this end and this end, you can see how far I had to go with my thread to get to the side post. Now normally there's more little posts that you can attach your stuff to, but you know what? You can barely see that thread. If you wanted to, you could add a bead there, or you could use, you can't see the thread really there. You could use French wire for that, but we are just gonna, put it on like a regular clasp. Now, this is the end of my work, so you can see, in case you're wondering, the end will always be with the open Superduos going outward. So we're going to go and add a few rows of herringbone, and I just wanted to, I left it at this section in case you need to know how to attach thread. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. One of my tricks that I do when I put my beading down, if I'm working on something like that has a couple of different steps, and sometimes it's confusing to know where you started and where you ended, I always end in the middle of a process. So I started with the 2 herringbone stitch here. So that means this one here is where I have to go next to add 2, then 2, and turn, that kind of thing. So that's how I do it. And I always leave my thread in where I'm changing threads so that I know, in case it's not clear up here, I know here that, okay, this is where I ended. So I need to have my thread go up and around to the next. So if you know herringbone, then it's not a big deal. You kind of know what you're doing already. Yeah, I got a piece here. I'm just using the same size thread. It's green dragon thread number 6, and I highly recommend you use something equivalent to this or this itself, the size 6 being a stronger one for more structure in this style of beading. I tried some thinner stuff, and the work was really flippy floppy, and I'm just using a size 10 needle. If you use 12, 11, go for it. I like the feel of the size 10 in my hand. It feels a little more substantial, and I hate my needles getting all bent. So I think this one actually would break if I, went too far with it. But so what I'm going to do for this one, because what I need to do is I need to be coming, if you take a look at your beads here and put your needle through, there should be a line of thread going through from this one down to this one into the next and up and over. So what I'm going to do for that is I am going to go down this row first, tie my knots in here, and then switch over to go up. So I'll just show you. So I'll start up here. You can start right at the end if you want. It's not a big deal. I might as well do that. So you don't have to go too far down either. So I just went a couple down. Bring that through. And I'm going to hang on to this piece here, because once I put my knot and pull it tight, if I pull this will kind of slide all the way down that line. So let's pick up a thread bridge in between the beads that we stopped at, and I'm just going to enlarge this. I can see it, but it might be hard for you to see. My nose is right up against it. I'm sure you're not watching your tablet or phone with it that close to your face. So I hold the thread down so it doesn't jump a bead. Okay, so you can still pull tight on this. I'm going to hang on to this piece, my fingers, and I'm going to go down maybe 3 beads in the same row. So just slide your needle in there. There, went down 3. And now I'm going to pull. So it will pull the knot tight as well as hide the knot from the beads. So we're going to do it again. I don't usually do it twice, but you know what? For this design, I tended to do twice. It's pretty quick and easy to do, so you might as well do it twice, and then you're not going to worry that it's going to come apart. So I'm just going to go through 2 now. There. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this. We don't need to know about that one. Like that. Okay, so now I am coming out of this bead here. Where am I here? I'm coming out of this one here. I'm going to go to the one right beside it, and I'm going to go up all the way. Actually, now that I think of it, I kind of did this wrong. Really, what I should have been doing was coming over this way. I think it'll be fine because once we put our thread bridge across this way, it will tie that in anyway. So I should have gone down this one and then came up here and down. So let's go. I might cross over to the other row. See if I can. I don't know if that'll work. Yeah, actually it will. Okay, so I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna take it. Let's see here. It's a little snug. So I want to cross over at this bead here. So I'm gonna be 2 beads down. So pull this here, there. Okay, so now this would be as if I added these 2 beads, came down 1 bead, then up 1. Like that. Okay, now we're going to add 2 beads, and we're going to go down the next bead and up the next row, like that. The other thing is, since I've made a bunch more of these bracelets, I actually have figured out a pattern of different steps for this design, and I didn't quite have this in the other design or the video that I showed. So I will be doing another video, and it will really clarify the steps that you need to take. And I like to do that for myself to know, okay, there's 4 rows, I'm going to repeat these 4, or 4 steps, I'm going to repeat these 4 steps. So now at this point here, we'll pretend we're still working on this design without adding these. So at this point, if you look, your thread is coming out of the second bead down. So you would be going to the lower Superduo top hole and the lower hole of the topmost, and you're going to go through everything. So you're going to go through the crystal as well, and I'm going to go through the bottom hole of that Superduo and the top hole of that one, and then come around. So this will take us back so we can get some more herringbone stitch on the other side. So go down through the 2 Superduos like that, and I'm going to flip it so you can see where I'm landing. So now you're going to go up 1 bead. Bring that through and turn that. Now we'll add another row here. So pick up 2. Coming out of this bead here, we're going to go into this one, but we're going to pick up. So we'll go down that one, and then we pick up the next one to set ourselves up for the next 2 beads we're going to add. That, pick up 2, go down and up. These Toho beads that I'm using, I just love. Now, I have done a bunch of bracelets using a Miyuki, and they look just as wonderful, but I just find this reminds me of like real gold chain, like serpent or snake weave that they have. Okay, so we are down 2 here. Now we're going to go up through here, but what I did for the other one, since we're not going to be adding anything here, is I took my thread and I went through the crystal to go across. A bit tight. Like that. Go through the crystal. And that will bring your Superduo, like, close this up, because if you don't, it does this kind of thing. So, and then we'll go through the top hole. So essentially your threads will be showing right here, which you actually can't see. And then here, which is going to be blue, so you won't be able to see that one either. So go through there. And again, I'm turning it so you can see. So you're coming out of that top hole. You're going to go through the bottom of that bead, and we're going to do another herringbone. Let me see how many we did on this side. 2. So we'll do 2 extra. So we'll see what 2 gives us. So pick up 2 beads and go down 1 and up through the other. I know some people like to do that in 2 steps. I have never done it in 2 steps. I've tried it, but I really find you don't need to. That the reason some people do it is they feel that it keeps your work nice and tight in through the rows. But I always find my tension super tight anyway, so we're going to do 2 more here and turn it around. 2, go down through this bead here. I'm going to flip that and just nudge that one in place. There, and tight. And again, do the same thing. Go through the Superduo, the top hole, through the crystal, like that. And I'm not going to pull it too tight because I don't want this bead here to be really pulled in too much. But if you want to do that, that's fine too. This is, the thing I like about beading is you get like recommendation. This is how you do it, this certain stitch. And then after that, it's up to you what you do. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I'll take a stitch that you see a lot of and I'm like, let me put my spin on it. That to me is fun, doing that. And you know where I think I got that? When we were kids in school and the teacher would give you like a homework assignment. And it's like everybody does the same, for whatever project it is, everybody does the same thing. And I'm like, I'm going to do something really different, but still meet the parameters of the project. So it started way back then. My wife calls me a hall monitor. Definitely not a hall monitor. I used to break the rules. But of course the teachers still love me. So I guess I am a hall monitor. Does that make me a teacher's pet? So yeah, I think that would be good right there. So you can see 2 rows above and that's it. So I am just gonna, just because this one would be loose if I didn't do anything with my thread, I'm gonna bring my thread through the next bead. So the thread's coming out of this second bead here. I'm going to go next door to the next bead, and I might have to bring it this way because the beads are sitting on an angle. You can turn it around and do it from the other side too. So we'll just bring that, it'll tighten them there like that. And then I'm going to go back to the first bead. Here's the other thing. Before I even do that, we have to put a thread, like we have to bring these together. There's still like a gap. So I'm just going to go over as if I was doing herringbone, but don't add the beads. So go down that one and then up the next one. That. Go down this one and up the next one. There. And then we'll go down this one. There. And I'm going to turn it around. And now I'm going to go up this one because I want to close up this gap here, but I don't know if we need to. I'm going to do it anyway. So close that one there, like that. Go up the next one. Pull it tight and go through here. And then I'm going to flip this to get my thread up to the bottom of this last one. There. So now we're ready to add the clasp. So I kind of know where, like, how much thread to leave on this, but I would recommend you start from the middle position so that you hold, so your clasp is in the middle, so it doesn't get wonky off to one side or the other. But you know what? I think we should do it so that I can show you. It's only one step, so just get your thread over to the two middle ones, like that. Okay, so you can do it like this, works too, right? So you're going across that bar. So I'm going to go down this middle one. And here's the other thing you can do. So let me flip this over so you can see. You can go down a few beads like this to really secure your clasp. I did for the other side, I put it through the top ones here, but you know, if you start to stretch just the top beads because it's holding your clasp, it could give way. But if you went down quite a few, and I will often change which few I go through, so I'm going to go back up and I'm coming out on the other side of that bar, and you pull that tight and like that. So let's just go down 2 beads this time. So we're going to go through that side piece and get our needle. Actually, I'll just take it out here. A little easier for you to see. So let's do 3 beads this time. 3. And then up on the other side through the 3, like that. So now we have 2 strands in the middle holding it in place. So now I am going to bring my thread across to this bar here. And this is what I mean. This clasp is just slightly different than a lot of the other clasps I use. The other clasps usually have a bar in between those as well. So I could have went around a bar here and then gone down this bead and then come back around. All that means is there's a little more exposed thread, so that's why. So now let's go down. I'm going to go down 4 on this side, like that, and then go back up. Making sure you're going through all the beads. And get your needle in there, like that. So I tried to contact my sister and I didn't hear anything. I think they're on vacation. I wanted to make sure I had the right length for her wrist, because I think her wrist size changed recently. Okay, so the first side that you do, just remember to be careful not to, like if you see, if I pull this, it will go to the side. We want to make sure it's kind of even on both sides. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go back up this row here, and then we'll go to the other side. So let's do that. I am going to go down the middle. I thought maybe there was a bar there. I'm like, oh, there's a bar there. Nope. So let's go down this one. We'll do two. So it may seem that this is a bit of work for this type of clasp, but I'll tell you, these clasps are so gorgeous. So I'm going up the next row to the edge, like that. So there's the bar. So I'm going to go on the opposite side of the bar. And if you're concerned, I think I mentioned this before, you can put a bead or two in here. And actually, most of the time that's what I do. I'll add beads before I go through the hole. And then I sometimes put beads there. And the beads just protect the thread from rubbing and stuff. But this should be fine. So now let's go across again. And now you can snug it a bit. Go through here on the other side of that bar. I'm going to go down a few. I'm going to do another time around. I kind of don't like the side ones being so exposed. So I went down 4 that time. So I'll go up 4. That. And then we should be done. So now I'm just going to go down. I'm going to go past that one just because it looked a bit. Sometimes if the beads look separated, I'll make sure not to put my knot in that area. So just find a thread bridge, like that. Loop your thread around twice. And put your finger on it, tight. And then go back down between those same beads. And I'm going to go down to here, and we'll do one more just because it's part of the clasp. So that's where our thread's coming out. That's where I'm going to put my thread bridge. Like that. 1, 2, bring it down close to your thread and then hold it in place. There. And go down a few. Just to hide your thread. Pull it tight and we'll cut that off. So I have a bunch of different designs ready to go. I'm so excited to show you. So now let's get the, so normally, like this is where it attaches to one of the pieces. Normally that doesn't, like it's pinched so it stays in place. But I'll tell you, as nice as these clasps are, sometimes they're very finicky. So you see where the closure is going to be. So if you look, if I were to pinch that close, that arch would change and then you can't get this to close. So I still, you know what, I don't want my sister losing the clasp. So let me see if I can pinch that a bit. And let's see, I think that I probably moved it. Oh no, that's perfect. Oh, it worked. So there you go, just have to pinch it. Okay, and what? Is this crazy or what? Oh my gosh, she's gonna flip. Sylvia, look at your bracelet. I think I'll be adopting more sisters, right, ladies? Who wants a bracelet? I'll be like Oprah, you get a bracelet and you get a bracelet. Check under your chairs. This is lovely. This is so decadent. So this turned out really nice. Well, thank you guys for being so patient through this process. This is the first time where I feel like I hesitated a bit with my design, and it was just because I was so excited to show you. Normally I practice them a lot before I start doing videos, but I was just like, let me show you what I got. So this turned out so pretty. Let me see what it looks like on. This will probably go right on my wrist, yeah. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful Swarovski bracelet. You know what? I don't know what it is about this design, but I like this kind of reminds me of a netted bracelet in the sense that I saved my Swarovskis for something like that, a really elegant netted bracelet. But this just gives you that elegance, and you can use Superduos and regular beads. Like, this is crazy. So there you go. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned. There's going to be lots more. I'm going to do like a reveal of all the different designs that I've done, and I'm also going to do different clasps for each of the design ideas. So stay tuned for that, and let me know what clasp you're putting on your bracelet, and let me know if you make one of these. I'd love to see it. It's hard for me to know if people actually make the bracelets unless they tell me, oh yeah, I made it and stuff like that. So I love doing stuff with you guys. So I really enjoy hearing what you're working on. So take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.